Today we are reviewing a blaster that is really big and really loud. It was made in 2001 by Larami, and it shot an ammo type that was different from everything else in production. And that blaster is the Nerf Gyrostrike. As you can already tell, most likely, this thing is really big. I was not lying about that. If we compare it to my chest, it basically spans the width of my shoulders. And if you're a little kid, that's pretty ridiculous to shoot around. As a kid, this thing was like the biggest blaster I ever held, and it was probably the loudest I ever had. But it's a very unique blaster overall. This blaster has flywheels, which are very, very obvious in the front here, with its kind of cool purple swirl in there that I actually really like. Kind of makes it mesmerizing to, you know, speed up and shoot, though when it's going really fast you don't really notice it. One thing that makes this blaster really unique is that it doesn't shoot darts, it doesn't shoot arrows, it shoots something Nerf likes to call missiles. But I have come to deem them tampons. If it's not obvious to you, here's a picture. Yeah, they kind of look like tampons, and that's why I call this thing the tampon launcher most of the time. What this missile is made out of is two different types of foam. You have the rigid arrow foam that Nerf was using back then, and then you have this Nerf sword foam on the top here. And this thing isn't really heavy, it's actually quite light, and I think that's because on the front here, there's really nothing but this light foam on the front, and then right about here is where this yellow foam comes in. But it's really not heavy at all. I don't know what to compare it to, but I would think they make it a little bit bulkier. But they do fly pretty well unless you have a bend in here, which was actually quite easy to induce on these things. There are a couple things about this blaster that make it kind of cool. You have a loading ramp here where you just put your missiles, and then you have a little pusher to shove them into the flywheels. Obviously, since I don't have them rubbed up, it's not going to go anywhere, so I'll shove them up a little bit. Woo! And you prime the flywheels by pulling and pushing on this. The one big thing about this blaster is the noise. And the noise is crazy. I'll do a little test in a second, but the noise comes from the clutch system this thing has in it, where if you go too fast or up to a certain point, it will disengage the wheel. And also when you pull this out, it makes it so the wheels don't go in the opposite direction that you want them to go in. This thing will basically engage really, really often. I don't know if this is only in just my model, but this thing is loud regardless. It only gets louder with the little stupid disengaging clutch in it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to compare the volume of the Gyrostrike to a buzzsaw. Because we all know the buzzsaw is really loud already, but how loud is it compared to the Gyrostrike? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the blasters right about arm's length, and then I'm just going to pull as fast as I can. I'm going to try and keep them in the same area. And to everyone with headphones, I suggest you turn your volume down now so you don't go deaf, because I'm not going to alter the volume in any way, so you can get a real comparison of how they sound. So let's start off with the buzzsaw. Turn your volume down now, I suggest. And here we go. This is going to be as fast as I can get it going. Fun fact, if you want to slow your buzzsaw down, just squeeze the little clear case in there. Now that was pretty loud, but how loud is it compared to the Gyrostrike? Put it about the same area, and here we go. All that rah, rah, rah you heard was the clutch in the Gyrostrike. What it does that really bothers me is you can't push it a certain speed. If you push it just slightly harder than you mean to, it engages, so you miss a whole stroke. If you go a certain speed with the wheels, it engages. This thing engages on like everything, and it actually makes it quite hard to use effectively. While I wish I could go in here and take those out and lube up the wheels so they go faster and whatnot, I can't really do that seeing how this thing is basically a giant labyrinth of screws. What I'm going to do is I'm going to explain this graphically. So you have your Y plane and you have your X plane. And on the Y plane you have this one plate right here where there's a bunch of screws. But if you turn it onto your X plane, there are also a bunch of screws right here. There are screws everywhere on this thing, and I am afraid to take it apart to do some maintenance on the inside. So what I got is basically what I got. Now what I'm going to do is we are going to do a firing test to see the efficiency and range that this thing can put out, and it's not very impressive, I'll tell you that right now. And the wheels do like to slow down pretty fast, but we're going to do it regardless, and we're going to shoot it at our intern Harold. So let me set it up and we will get right into it. Alright everyone, so don't mind the clutter as I'm reorganizing everything in my workshop to make it more efficient and lovely. We have Harold all the way over there on top of a suitcase just to prop him up a little bit, and I am shooting off to the side of the camera about a foot or two, so it's going to be kind of angling in and not perfectly straight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rev this up as loud as I can. I will turn down the volume, and then I will fire it parallel to the ground, and we will see how well this does. Like I said, don't expect anything too amazing out of this, as it is an old flywheel blaster, but we'll see what this thing can do. So here we go. All those shots were taken at full rev, exactly parallel with my shoulder. One cool thing you can do with this blaster is you can sometimes get it to double fire or double feed, which I don't really think is too useful of a feature, but I mean it is kind of cool. So I have 4 missiles loaded up into this thing, and we're going to see if I can get it to do that. So let's do it. As you saw with the first and second shot, I got a slight double feed, and it actually doesn't take down the range too much, but a bunch of double feeds will slow the flywheels down much quicker if you just single fire and rev between the shots. The third and fourth missiles, I didn't get to double feed, but you know, it's whatever. And if you are an eagle eye, you'll also see that even as I'm aiming at Harold, none of the missiles hit him. So if you're playing to super snipe, a Call of Duty style with this thing, I would recommend you don't, because you're probably not going to hit your target. And with only getting 40 feet and such a loud noise coming out of this blaster, yeah, they're going to see you, and yeah. So let's take it back to the workshop and we'll go from there. Overall, this blaster is extremely big and extremely loud. Now, flywheel blasters usually are pretty loud, but this one is in a league of its own. I would never recommend you use this during a stock Nerf war because your ammo is scarce, as I've never seen any missiles come up on eBay, nor have I seen them pop up on Craigslist. But overall, this blaster is fun because it's different. And I use different kind of in a general term to mean a lot of different things, but it's special. Am I happy that I bought this? Of course. I have lots of childhood memories of this thing, so it's kind of cool to have it in my collection, to be able to get it back because I have many memories of it. But would I ever recommend you buy this for more than $20? Probably not. If it comes with the ammo, I'd spend a little bit more than that, but if it doesn't come with it, don't be surprised. This blaster is a lot of fun. It has a lot of force behind it. The missiles like to punch things, but I mean, it's a Gyrostrike. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be making another one for you very soon. So yes, have a great day wherever you are. Bye.